What's up, everybody? Home Scholars, Mr. Coulter, coming to you right now via video. And sorry it's not live. I may go live later, but our district has put some prohibitions on interacting with like a live feed, like a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet. So they don't really want us to do live video right now, FaceTime style. So I'm gonna do this, and if you guys have questions, you can post your questions, comments on Classroom. I may go live later on in a social media platform. So I might, I know not all of you follow me on Twitter. Some of you don't even have Twitter accounts and stuff. So I didn't want to do it that way. So I'm gonna start with this, and I may create a special IG. I already have like 3 IG accounts, but I may create a 4th just for teaching. And that way, if I go live on IG, you guys can interact with me there. We'll see. I'll let you know. I'm probably gonna do that later today because you may not know what you want to ask right now. Anyway, I want to provide a little bit of clarification on a couple things. First of all, hope you're doing well and staying safe and social distancing when you do have to go out. And I know it's crazy and it's hard and your schedule's all messed up, but I appreciate you guys. We always talk about activism in our class and the importance of not being a bystander above all else. I really hate that we're missing out on in-class instruction because my second semester is fire. It's always way, way more powerful than the first semester. As we end the year, I feel like every year we end the year really strongly in our classes. Thanks in large part to y'all because you guys do a great job and you're like the reason I come to work every day. So there's all of that. But anyway, we'll do the best we can. But I think by being home and doing your part right now, this is like a real-time example of something I've never seen before where we have to come together to battle something that's a threat to all of us. In a disease we cannot see is a very formidable opponent, and we have to conquer it and figure out how to be patient, which is not easy. When you're fighting something, everything looks good. The sun is shining today, it's beautiful out, and yet we've been given these orders to stay home as much as possible and try to limit our interaction with each other. So I hope you guys are doing that, man, and you see the value in it. I know it's not easy. We don't all live in the same types of homes, and so my heart goes out to you guys. So first and foremost, I want to know how you're doing. I'm doing okay. Some of y'all asked that about the survey. Thank you, by the way, for those of you who filled out the survey that I posted on Google Classroom. I really wanted to understand kind of how suitable or how well suited you all are for remote learning and what you would want to see. And the majority of you guys, I'll bring up some results here really quickly. The majority of you guys were very comfortable with what we already do with Google Classroom, of course. But I think the way the statistics came in, you guys were very adamant that you do, in fact, desire interaction with your teachers. And so the survey kind of indicated 3 things. One, that Google Classroom is still legit for you guys. Secondly, it indicated that you would like pre-recorded lessons if possible. So kind of what I'm doing right now, this is just explaining, it's not really a lesson, but that if you guys could go back to a pre-recorded lesson and review it, that it would be helpful. And then also you guys indicated strongly that you wanted to have some interaction with primarily with us as teachers, that you'd be able to ask questions on the fly in real time. And I get that. And universities are doing that right now too, via Zoom. That's how they're continuing to provide instruction and hold, students accountable. So those were the 3 main findings there, that the survey yielded. Specifically, it kind of went down like this. The percentages were, like, so far 97 people took the survey, and there's a pie graph that, see if I can show y'all so you don't think I'm lying to you. Actually, I'm not gonna. I know what I'll do is I'll attach it later. I'll do a screenshot so you guys can see what's up, and I'll put it on Classroom so you can see the results. But 35.4% of you guys think that pre-recorded video lessons would be effective. 25% of all people polled, all of you guys said that you would like a Zoom or a Meet for live instruction face-to-face, and then 35% of you said that you would like to just continue using Google Classroom. I asked a question about Wi-Fi access and the use of a device. I should have separated that question, but I didn't. But 87.6%, so we could round that up to about 88% of you guys out of 97 people who were polled said that yes, in fact, I do have Wi-Fi and I have consistent Wi-Fi and access to a tablet, a laptop, or a desktop computer. So that's encouraging. That means that it would be our job as a district to provide for 10.3%. You know, if this is reflective of the bigger group, you know, you guys are just a small sampling of the whole school. But if this reflected like San Dimas High, then we know that maybe that's manageable. You know, if it was 10% of our population, then that would be 130 students or so who actually need consistent Wi-Fi and access to a device that allows them to get on the internet so they can work remotely. But I'm gonna tell you something that I didn't ask, and I didn't really know how to ask it because I didn't think it was really a fair question. Is your home environment like conducive to you working independently? We know that if I hand you a laptop, a desktop computer, or a tablet, and I get you Wi-Fi, that's only part of it. Like, I mean, how many of you are struggling to stay awake every day, struggling to your rhythm and your whole cadence is off? I think there's more that's needed there as far as allowing you guys to be motivated to work independently, and that's just not going to come from me, especially since this was the second thing I wanted to bring up, is that you guys know that right now we can't require you to do the work that we're assigning for fourth quarter. There is really no fourth quarter right now. My grades are due for third quarter. They pushed back our deadline to April 6th. That's just being very transparent with you guys. But as far as you being motivated to do work that, you know, isn't going to work against you, I realize for many of you that might be hard to find that motivation. And you may just feel like, man, it's just hard for me to work at home. My room is a mess. Or there's a lot of people home right now. Maybe you have siblings. Or maybe there's some other factors that are affecting your ability to work at home. And I think what I'm trying to find out is what are some of those scenarios like, and what would help you to be able to work independently? Like, what do you need in order to, besides technology, what do you need in order to get your work done every day? Find motivation to do it. You know, that's kind of a question that's been looming in my mind. So I want to hit you guys with that and see what your feedback might be on that. Maybe in the comments area when I post this video, okay? You can let me know, what do you actually need in order to work independently effectively? Because you and I, we talked extensively this year about the fact that grades, you guys even wrote an essay about it, that the grading system needs to be revised. And we don't really work for a grade, do we, right? We work to learn. And I know it'd be easy to game the system right now and just say, man, forget this, man, I'm on this vacation. My vibe is like 5 months. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened since they actually invented Pop-Tarts, and I'm on one right now. Like, I understand, but you know how I roll, and I think you guys are better than that. You're scholars, and everybody who's trying to fight this disease in the laboratory right now is not necessarily just doing it because it's being funded by the government. I'm sure there are monetary incentives right now to find a cure, vaccine, but there are a lot of people who just want to do good, and the majority of our altruistic motivation is the power and the engine behind all of the intelligence that humankind has ever amassed. So please understand that I still, same dude, same bad channel, man. We don't learn so that we can get a grade. We learn so that we can put ourselves in a position to really impact humanity. And I want to definitely continue to encourage you guys on that line, with the realization that transcripts do matter and all that stuff. Let me say, just to move on, that the work you're doing right now will it can improve your grade until we close grades. Every teacher has been instructed that if you're working from home and you're doing stuff that was assigned during the third quarter, it can be accepted and it can be turned in. But I want to encourage you guys to communicate with your teachers about that, because if they're like me, I don't go back in the classroom to check old assignments to see if you've done them. Right now, I'm working on stuff that you guys have turned in on Turnitin.com, trying to give you guys feedback on some of the essay work you've done, and more of the compliance grading stuff where it's just kind of checked to see if you've done it. That stuff's on the back end. If you turned in late work, I have it. I brought all my stuff home, but that's low priority. Right now, I'm working on the things where I need to give you feedback for the things that you've done that are more written samples, because now you have the time to actually look at that stuff and pay attention to your your quality of work, right? So there's that. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to say. I thanked you guys for the survey. Asked you how you were doing, well-being stuff, of course. And thirdly, talked about kind of the expectations right now. We can't give you deadlines because we don't, my son's trying to distract me right now, this dude, crazy, right? Look. Anyway, so, but the last assignment I did give you, and I'll probably talk about that more extensively later after I get some of your questions, is the Person of the Year project or Altruist of the Year. Maybe by now you've worked on that somewhat and you have selected a person. I would like to also, besides that project that you may have started, also I'll probably either move us into working on a Shakespearean work, Julius Caesar, the tragedy of Julius Caesar. I have notes to upload for that that I'll be asking you guys to review. That effectively was going to be our next unit, and we were going to move from that into some other things. But you'll hear from me on that, so we'll be killing two birds with one stone, so to speak. You know, we'll work on those simultaneously. As you're working on the project for Person of the Year, Altruist of the Year, I'll give you some instructional on that, but I'll also move us into Julius Caesar, and we'll be doing a unit on that, and we'll see how it goes. You know, all of this is an experiment, first time for everything, so we're going to try to make it work. Other than that, I just want you to know I'm listening to you. When you guys post questions, I am doing the best I can to pay attention. I left you alone during your spring break. I didn't want to interrupt that because technically it was a spring break, and I didn't want to bother you about school stuff. So we're back at it, and any information I have, I'm going to try to relay it to you and try to keep you informed as best I can. You can always reach me via Remind if you have something you desperately need to ask me, and we'll just kind of stay partnered up, man, and do the best we can. I'm hoping this is something that we can get a handle on as a country sooner than later. I know y'all like to get outside and you like to enjoy the great outdoors, but hopefully you're also taking this time to invest in yourself. Since you do have more time at home, take some time to not binge. You don't need to watch Ozark for 17 hours, dude. Like, you can find other things to do. So, or that Tiger King or whatever that documentary is, the dude who owns the tigers and is all crazy and stuff. All that's great, but maybe you can find time to invest in yourself. Find something, maybe a quotation that interests you, and spend like 15 minutes a day just sitting outside by yourself and thinking about what it means to be alive in 2020. And I did give you guys a journal kind of exercise, and I asked you guys to write every day, 1 page or so, you know, about kind of how you feel about the situation that we're in as a nation, or maybe what you're experiencing as we are quarantined, if you will, or on this shelter-in-place vibe where we're staying at home. So I hope you're doing that. You know, maybe we can talk a little bit about how those journals are going. I've talked to a few students already about it, so hopefully that's going well for you. But hey, you know me, I care about the whole picture. You're not just students, and it's not all about college, but it certainly is always about learning. So I hope that we can keep that at the forefront of our brains or our minds, and be well together, do the best we can. If you need help in any other way besides academically, you can message me privately, and I will see what I can do to help you get what you need. But that's it for today. I'm gonna try to do these videos daily, you know, just so not always 14 minutes. I just wanted to make sure I covered a few things here. So, but I do want to interact with you. And if at any point they release us to be able to do more interactive stuff, then I'll let you know, and then we'll arrange to do some meets or a Zoom or something like that. All right, that's all I got to say. Culture out, man. Do the best you can. That's all I ever ask. Be strong and helping others to be strong. I'll talk to you guys later.